Will Jax Jefferson be killed off in this season of Legends of Tomorrow? This is something that has been in my mind for a little while now, as it has been confirmed that Victor Garber, who of course plays Martin Stein in the Arrowverse, is going to be leaving the show to pursue his Broadway career, which of course is something he's been doing all of his life, which means he can no longer continue on the show. So what does that mean for his telepathically linked partner, Jax Jefferson? Well, that's what I'm here to discuss with you guys today. So if you've watched Legends of Tomorrow or any of the Arrowverse shows, you will know the character of Firestorm. And Firestorm is the combination of Martin Stein and originally Ronnie Raymond, but now Jax Jefferson. And these two make a very powerful unit superhero known as Firestorm. And they have very cool powers which involve, just shooting flames out of their hands. He can fly, he of course has transmutation powers. It's very, very interesting, but I feel the fate of Firestorm is hanging in the wind right now. In the upcoming Crisis on Earth X crossover, we do know that there's going to be a funeral scene. So speculation has been beginning about who this could be who has died. And my personal theory is that it's Jax Jefferson. And this is because not only Martin Stein is leaving, but Jax Jefferson hasn't actually been seen. Franz Drummer, who plays him, has been going to different conventions a lot recently, which means he clearly has a lot of spare time on his hands. So why has he got so much spare time when he should be filming? There is some speculation that Martin Stein is the one who's going to die, just to completely get him off the show completely, really easily. However, I don't think they're going to go down this route, just because it would completely make the whole childbirth of his grandson completely irrelevant, and it would kind of make that all pointless if he wasn't actually going to go home and be a family man. So I don't really think they're going to kill off Martin Stein. Also, the fact that they kind of had that payoff in the most recent episode of Legends where they've called the son Ronnie, I just don't think they're going to do it. However, I feel if they killed Jax Jefferson, that would actually be a very impactful death on pretty much most of the characters in the crossover. Not most of them, but especially with the Legends. Jax has been there from the start. He's also, he knew Barry, he knew the Flash, he knew all of the Team Flash members, and he was quite close with all of them, and of course he was extremely close with the Legends. So if Jax was to die, it would completely remove Firestorm off the show, and it would also have a really impactful death to leave us with the crossover. However, there is some definitely contrasting evidence towards my theory, which if you've seen the most recent episode of Legends of Tomorrow, which is season 3 episode 4 titled Phone Home, we do see at the very end Jax go to Ray and ask him to help him make a new Firestorm matrix that allows him to be Firestorm without Martin Stein, because he knows Martin wants to go home. So could this mean that Jax is going to be Firestorm on the show still, but he no longer needs Martin Stein? Though this is definitely possible, and I do believe this is probably what is most likely going to happen, Firestorm is a very expensive character for the CW to use. Legends in itself is a very expensive show for the CW, and Firestorm is a very CGI heavy character, and also a very overpowered character, hence why you don't see him actually as Firestorm so much. It's very similar to Ragman on Arrow last season. He was just very overpowered, so the fact that Firestorm is in a similar position does put him at risk, I think. So I think what may happen is when the crossover does roll around in a few weeks, we will probably see the final bit of action with Martin and Jax as Firestorm doing the crossover together as one final swan song, and then eventually Jax could die and Martin will then leave the show to go be a family man, and that'll leave us with an impactful death. And because I've been thinking about it, I can't really think of anybody else who could be on the death. I don't know who else it could be. I think Jax is a likely target, unfortunately. Also, when you look at how Firestorm works, whoever the host is, which is the one who you see the actual physical body of, that is the person who would actually die when Firestorm dies. So if you remember back to The Flash Season 1, when the original Firestorm was killed off, obviously Martin Stein survived, but Ronnie Raymond was the one who died because he was the host. So therefore, if Firestorm was to get severely injured again, it would be Jax who would take the fault and not Martin. So I think that again puts Jax in a very vulnerable position. However, I do hope that they do not kill off Jax, because I really like him. I think he's a really likable character. The actor Franz Drummer is very passionate about this show and about this character, and I think if you're just going to go for the solo Firestorm route, then you've definitely got a very strong lead actor there with Franz Drummer to play Firestorm by himself, and he no longer needs Martin Stein. And like I say, he's just extremely likable, and I think he's one of the best parts of Legends of Tomorrow, and if they kill him off, it'd be a serious loss. So tell me in the comment section below what you think is going to happen with Firestorm this season. Like I said, I think Jax is very likely going to be shot or going to be killed off this season. Also, I think has the same amount of likability that he could survive and just become the solo Firestorm that seems to be being hinted at right now. Either way, I hope he survives, but if he does die, then to be fair, it would have a very impactful death on the audience and all the characters in the Arrowverse.